In the US, hybrid vehicles are gaining popularity over electric vehicles. Automakers had hoped EVs would take the lead due to their environmental benefits and fuel savings, but Americans are choosing hybrids more. In 2023, over 1 million hybrids were sold, up 76% from the previous year, and the surge is because hybrids are affordable, reliable, and address concerns about EVs like charging stations and range anxiety. Despite this, EVs still hold promise for the future. Let's explore why hybrids are winning over EVs for now. Electric cars are most likely going to be the next big thing in the automotive industry, according to the American car makers, who believe that people are looking for ways to minimize pollution and to spend less on gas. However, the fact that more electric cars are being sold now than before is not a great achievement for the car companies, as they expected to sell more cars. On the contrary, many individuals are purchasing a vehicle species called the hybrid. Hybrids, which have been around for a long time, use gas and batteries alternatively to conserve fuel. In 2023, Americans bought more than 1 million hybrids. That is 76% up from last year, says Edmunds.com. In the previous year, the number of hybrid sales was much less than the number of sales in 2021. These numbers do not even include the 148,000 plug-in hybrids sold that can drive for a short distance on battery power before using gas and electricity. Whereas, the sales of EVs are on the verge of reaching a record of over 1 million this year. Their growth rate in comparison with the last year has started to decline. Currently, EVs only account for about 7% of the overall auto market in the US. This decline in the rate of sales is a concern to car makers, who see it as a sign that people are not as eager to buy EVs as they were earlier, while others are lowering the production and postponing the plans for the new battery plants or assembly factories. The customers who opt for hybrid cars are motivated by various factors. Some say it's because EVs are more expensive than their hybrid alternatives, or that they are concerned about not finding enough charging stations. Some people say hybrids offer similar benefits as EVs, but without their disadvantages. Ford, the second largest hybrid car seller in the country after Toyota, plans to make enough hybrids to increase sales by a factor of 4 in 5 years. General Motors, the company that almost stopped hybrid production in the US, the brand that had abandoned the EVs 4 years ago, is now considering making a comeback. Nevertheless, polls indicate that people are not sure whether there would be enough places to charge EVs, or whether the EVs would be so expensive that the federal tax credits would not be sufficient to make them affordable. However, hybrid cars do emit some pollution that comes from their exhaust. They, however, do not use as much fuel as normal cars with only gasoline engines, hence they do not emit as much pollution. Along with that, hybrid cars' prices are comparable to gas vehicles and are mostly less costly than similar EVs. People are satisfied with 45 or 50 miles per gallon cars, and you do not have to change anything in how you drive, said Scott Adams, who owns a Toyota dealership near Kansas City. Here are some key reasons why hybrids, which use both a gas engine and battery power to drive efficiently, have become popular this year. Here are some key reasons why hybrids, which use both a gas engine and battery power to drive efficiently, have become popular this year. Reducing carbon footprint. The rise in wildfires, heat waves, and stronger storms makes more people understand the severity of climate change. They are of the view that they can do this by consuming less fuel that releases carbon to the atmosphere. Nonetheless, even among such individuals, some are still hesitant to believe if EVs can sustain long journeys or tow trailers. People are willing to factor in reducing carbon emissions when they choose a vehicle, said Jack Hollis, who is in charge of sales and marketing for Toyota in North America. Toyota is a leader in the hybrid market and has been slowly shifting to EVs. I believe that hybrids provide them with what they need the most: a more affordable option. EVs have seen their prices drop as a result of federal tax credits and price reductions by Tesla, the largest brand in the industry. Though they remain more expensive than hybrids and gas vehicles, they're still quite affordable. In the last year, the average price of the EV sale was $62,999, and then it dropped to $60,569 in November. The other thing I didn't include in their calculations were the tax credits and Tesla's price, which they don't publish. In 2024, a lesser number of EVs are assumed to get tax credits, since of the new rules that limit full credits for cars with battery materials from countries which are considered unfriendly to the USA. The median price of a hybrid has stayed at $42,000. Frequently, hybrids are priced higher than the gas-only versions. Likewise, a hybrid Toyota RAV4 with all-wheel drive begins at $32,825, which is $1,600 higher than the gas version. Less range anxiety. Angie Rodeski, who is the recent resident of Jefferson City, Missouri, stated that her kids have been asking her to buy a Tesla to replace her old car. She thought an EV would be a good choice to save the environment, but she ended up with a RAV4 hybrid because she drives a lot to see her children in Florida and Delaware. I wonder whether I'll be able to travel far if a car will have to be plugged in, because it's a 16-hour drive from Delaware to Missouri, said Rodeski, 55. Comfortable over long trips and fuel economy were the characteristics I needed in a car. She bought a 2023 model at Adams Toyota and had to wait a month for it to arrive since a lot of people were buying the same car. Brad Sowers, owner of Jim Butler Kia and other dealerships in the St. Louis area, says that customers who inquire about EVs usually end up asking about hybrids or other options. Cold weather is not an issue at all. The experts have seen that a lot of hybrid vehicle buyers are well informed and realize that the battery of an EV may be shorted by cold weather. Recent tests in Norway, where 80% of the new cars are electric vehicles, show that EVs can lose up to 10% to 36% of their range in winters. The majority of EV sales in the United States occurs on the coast, with more charging stations, and the weather is usually pleasant. However, in the Midwest, where charging stations are sparse, people like Sowers claim that consumers are doubtful of EVs having less range in the cold. The reliability of hybrids overrides the EVs when it comes to this. Consumer Reports study for this year reveals that hybrids are the most reliable power system type in the car industry, while EVs are the least reliable. EVs have more recent technology, which is more likely to have glitches. On the other hand, hybrids have been around for longer, and thus they have had more time in engineering and construction refinement. Jake Fisher, Senior Director of Auto Testing at Consumer Reports, points out that the vehicles with longer time being sold are more reliable. Nevertheless, the experts are confident that sooner or later, the sales of electric vehicles will exceed the number of hybrids in the USA. The sector is trying to set up more charging stations, with big producers such as Ford, GM, and Hyundai getting to an agreement to allow their clients to charge at Tesla stations. Meanwhile, the industry is making sure that the plugs are matching the Tesla's standard and charging times are decreasing with the use of direct current fast chargers. Battery tech is also likely to get better as cold weather ranges. Starting from next year, tax credits for electric vehicles will be applied at the point of sale when the price is reduced, and monthly payments become easier. Previously, buyers had to wait for their income tax returns to receive the money, and furthermore, stricter fuel economy and pollution regulations over time are likely to push automakers to sell more EVs.